Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I have with me the TTArtisan's 56mm F1.8 lens. And this lens costs only $129 US. For such a budget price tag, I want to find out how this lens performs. Let's do this! Before we start, here are some important disclaimers. TTArtisan did send me this lens, 56mm F1.8, and this lens was made specifically for Sony E mount APS-C Mirrorless cameras. I do get to keep this lens after my review on this channel, but I made it very clear to TTArtisan from the start that they have no control whatsoever on what I want to say in this video, and my review and my opinion, they are entirely independent. I'm testing this TTArtisan's 56mm F1.8 on my Sony NEX-6 camera. I know that this is an old camera, but when it comes to lens test, optical performance, if there's any issues on the lens, I'll be able to tell whether if I'm using an old or new camera. And if you are using an older Sony camera, you might want to find out how this lens performs on it as well. That's why I'm making this video with this NEX-6. Also, this 56mm focal length on an APS-C format sensor, it is suitable for event photography, portrait photography. It is a medium telephoto. It is also good for some street photography, and I've done all of that to get my sample photographs. So let's take a look at some of these images first. I really like the design of this TTArtisan's 56 f1.8 lens. It is minimalist, it is in all black, it looks really sleek, and it matches my Sony NEX-6 camera very well. There's nothing much happening on the lens itself. There's only one control on the lens, which is the manual focusing ring. And I think that's perfectly fine. It's to keep things easy, simple, and straightforward. When it comes to lens construction, my oh my, I'm truly impressed with what TTArtisan has done. Instead of using plastic, because this is a cheap lens, right? They actually use aluminum. You heard that right. This lens barrel is made of full metal construction. It feels solid, it feels reassuring in hand. It doesn't feel like a cheap lens at all. It is very well constructed. Well done, TTArtisan. The lens is actually very small. It weighs about 245 grams only. It balances very well on this smaller body like NEX-6, and I have no issue handling this combination for long shooting duration. Now, autofocus performance is actually very good. I know that this is not a new camera, it is an old Sony NEX-6, but autofocus is still relatively very fast, efficient, and I can nail critical focus, no issue whatsoever. I'm generally very happy with the optical performance of this TTArtisan's 56 f1.8 lens. TTArtisan claims that in terms of lens construction, this lens consists of 10 elements in 9 groups. It also includes some special elements, namely 1 extra low dispersion lens and 2 high index lenses. Shooting a wide open aperture f1.8, this lens can render super sharp images, it can resolve plenty of fine details, really punchy contrast, images look realistic, it looks beautiful. Of course, if you stop down further to f2.8 or f4, the image quality will improve slightly, but I will not hesitate to shoot wide open f1.8. This lens is already a stellar performer shooting at wide open. In terms of bokeh, the lens can render very smooth, very pleasing out of focus area. There's no hint of nervousness or harshness. Everything looks beautiful. And even the corner performance of this lens is actually very impressive. Yes, there is some hint of vignetting and corner softness. If corner sharpness is very important to you, then I highly suggest that you shoot at f2.8 or f4. There are several things that I dislike about this TTArtisan's 56 f1.8. Number one, flare. Shooting this lens against strong sources of light, if you shoot at wide open f1.8, there is a serious haze issue. Your image will come out with like a veil covering the entire image with really severe lack of contrast. Or if you stop down further, then you get blobs of light or ghosting, which can be really destructive and they're not easily corrected in post. Number two, chromatic aberration. In high contrast situations, shooting at wide open aperture, or even if you start on f2.8, you do get to see severe cases of purple fringing, and this can be very visible. If you want to get rid of the purple fringing from the lens, you may need to stop down to f4 or f5.6. And number three, minimum focusing distance. I wish this lens can go closer to the subject. The minimum focusing distance of this lens is about 0.5 meter. I wish it can go closer, like 0.4 or 0.3 meters. They will open up a lot more opportunity for creative composition. Say if I want to use this lens to shoot products or food on the table, they will be really appreciated. But hey, these are small issues. None of them are deal breakers. They're just really great to have, and I do wish that this lens can do a little bit more, but it is a budget lens. It is what it is. Overall, I'm truly impressed with what TTArtisan has done with this 56 f1.8 lens. I do think that this is a stellar performer. It is already super sharp, wide open f1.8. It renders beautiful bokeh. It is very well constructed. There's nothing much to complain about, and all this is only $129. You get this in such a great value, and I think that in terms of performance to cost ratio, it's really hard to beat this 56 f1.8 TTArtisans. That's all I have to share about this TTArtisan's 56 f1.8 lens. If you found my sharing beneficial, if you've enjoyed looking at my sample photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, links in the description below on how I can do that. Any small contribution goes a long way, will definitely help me to continue making more content and publish them right here. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.